how to do it. Let me show you how to do it. Hi guys, this is my Tesla Model S, and one of the issues that I'm facing is this door latch. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not, and sometimes I just have to open it manually and kind of get into the charge port. Also, it's not working when I'm trying to open the door or close the door, the latch door. Sometimes it just won't respond. Sometimes it will respond and I'm able to charge properly, but the door itself shows that it's open inside. So what I end up doing is, I think it's like $165 part at Tesla. You can buy it from over the counter and you can replace it yourself. I would not recommend you buy any aftermarket ones. I think there's one legit seller. I'm gonna try to leave a link in the description below from Amazon that works. But if you can afford $165 from the dealer, I would say just go buy it from them. And in this process, I'm going to show you how you can install it and also how you can calibrate it from inside, because that's important. If you don't calibrate it, these things won't work. So with that, let's get into it. I'm just going to tell you guys exactly what needs to be done. So you need to get all that stuff removed. But before you do any of this, I suggest go inside. So here we're going to just search for power. And it's going to show power off. So power it off, power off. That's the very first thing you need to do. The next is, there's the Torx right there. Remove that. All you need to do is just remove this panel. That is one of the screws on the bottom. And this is a T20. So I just removed that plastic piece. And once I remove that part, pretty much this thing, I was able to pull it out. So you don't really need to remove any of this trim or anything like that. So once you remove that, it comes off. And there's this small plug for this light. So just undo it and you can put it on the side. So now you have access to this. Now we just need to get behind this and make sure there's no voltage present on that. So for that, I would highly recommend get a voltmeter and measure voltage. To remove this, all you have to do is just pop this guy out. This is like this, so all you have to do is just pop it out and you'll hear a click, and then this whole thing just literally lifts up and comes out. So once you pull this out, you just have to yank it out, and there's this lever, so you have to lift it like this and it comes off. I did measure my voltage, make sure it is on DC volt, and I did measure it and there is no voltage. The car is powered off, so we are safe to work. We're going to undo this bolt and get this loose, and then we're going to undo these 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this part will loosen up. Then we have to remove this guy from here and then get to the screws for the tail light. Okay, using a T30, the 4 bolts is out from there. Make sure you use a magnet when you're removing it so it sticks to it and makes it easier. I also removed that screw right from here, and now it's loose. So now what you need to do is just get this out of the way so we can get access to this screw. There's also another screw right here that I already removed. You can see that, and this was this guy. It is 8mm. So I'm gonna unhook this from here. There's a hook on top. Unhook this and then get this out of the way. So there are 3 nuts, 1, 2, and 3, and some of them they're kind of like very inside, so better use a magnet. You don't want to drop those these nuts, otherwise you're gonna have a bad day. So I'm gonna go ahead and start removing that, get this out of the way to get to that bolt, and then we'll be in business of replacing it. Okay, so you can see I just moved it out of the way, removed those all 3 screws, and Now you can see this is the actual motor and sensor. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this cable right from here. Right here. And then get the light out. Now, I made another video of why this module fails. So if you're this far, you better go and watch that video, because if you're going to install a new one, guess what? That's going to fail as well if you don't follow that procedure of cleaning that drain. And it's not that easy to just clean this way. So I'll show you what exactly you can do on that one. And I'll leave a link in the description below. This is the drain pipe. There's a cover right here that I removed. And I have already done my drain cleaning, so I'm not going to worry too much about this, but definitely watch that video. Okay, the tail light is out. So this is the new part. Here's part number, information, and everything. Now the way I remove this thing is pop this out and then press on this black tab, and you can see it lift up, and then you can yank it out. Now we have to replace this part with this part. So 3 screws that you have to remove, and then I think that should do it. The new one installed, 3 screws with the T20, and this is the old one, which is no good anymore. So here's some information on the new one. And this is the old one. Apparently they keep updating the parts, so hopefully the new one is going to last me for the life of the car. And now it's just a matter of putting everything back the way it was. So let's go ahead and put it back. Okay, this connector is in, that connector is in. Make sure you push the red tab, and also pour some water in there. Again, watch that video, but definitely pour some water, make sure it's draining, and you should have water splash right here. So I already did that test just to make sure that it was draining. And in my case, it is draining. You're gonna see some sitting over here, but that's completely normal as long as it's not puddling up. Okay, so this light is back in. Make sure the screws line up, and now we just need to put these screws back in, and they'll be back in business. So one very important tip I'm going to give you is, before you button this up, what you want to do is you want to align this properly to make sure the door is closing, because what can happen is you can button everything up and assume that the door is going to close, but sometimes it gets stuck right here, and you're going to have to unbutton everything. So that's one lesson that I learned. The alignment is from this screw right here. So make sure those two, put all the screws together, and then just loosen this up and make sure the other ones are loose, and use this to align the door. And you can see some daylight, and you can see, you should see something like this. So you have enough daylight all across the back side, because if it's blocked, either from here or from here, then it's going to interfere and it's not going to close properly. So make sure you have even daylight coming in from all that side, and just like shown, and then tie those screws up. So I already tightened mine up with that alignment in mind, and now all I have to do is just put this thing inside. And of course I have to use 2 hands, but that's the main thing. Alignment is very important. Okay, so once you're done with the charge port installation, you might get this error message: unable to charge, service is required. You may see it, you may not see it, or you may see it later on. But let's go through the calibration process. So basically, to calibrate, we're gonna go into software. There you go. Now you get this, just type in service. Once you're in the service mode, so there are different things I'm going to show you. So go into high voltage, you're going to go into charging, and we're going to do the charge port door calibration. This is going to be the first one. So in order for you to run this, it's going to tell you what you need to do is take the blinker, push it up, and now press on the brake. And as soon as you press the brake, make sure you have the key with you in the car, and then it will go into calibration. So there you go. Now you can let go of the brake and you can put this down, click on charge port, door will open and close, and now it's doing its calibration. So you may get this charge port door open, and it might open and close a few times, so just be patient. Let it do its thing. If for some reason this process failed, that means your charge port is getting stuck somewhere physically, so go check it out if you get this. But normally you should have a successful run. So we close that. Now we're going to do the charge port latch calibration. Run this, and it's done. So now we're going to return, close, and now we're going to get into software. So let's see where the software is. There you go. So go into the vehicle info, and over here we should have software reinstall. So click on this, leave the way it is, and just click on reinstall. And what this does is it handshakes with the new hardware that you put on, and that should take care of that light. Okay, so the software installation is done. Error code is gone. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, and this is a very key piece of information. You must have this orange thing installed. If you don't have this installed and if this is out, it's not going to work, and you're going to keep getting that error. So my error went away, and now my port opens and closes without issue. Let's go ahead and test it. Let's go to the car. Door is open. Shows charge port open. Let's go ahead and close it. By the way, and it's closed, and it's working great. No errors. That's it, guys. And now I'm gonna button everything up and just go back in reverse order. And this is how you do it. Just make sure you do a final check. Make sure everything is nice and tight, and close everything up.